This is the Medical Minutes Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Your source for the latest news, updates, information, and more from the world of health and medicine. Now, here's Wish TV's medical reporter, Dr. Mary Gillis.
From Wish TV, I'm medical reporter Dr. Mary Gillis, and this is Medical Minutes on the All Indiana Podcast Network. At the start of the pandemic, the coronavirus brewed inside an infected person's body for up to 1 week, with patients showing no signs for as many as 12 days. This was a major reason why COVID was such a threat in the beginning. Patients were spreading the deadly disease without even knowing it. But new research shows the incubation period has dropped with each new mutation. Could this explain why COVID is spreading more quickly with each new version? In this week's episode, I spoke with Dr. Christopher Doehring, Vice President of Medical Affairs at Franciscan Health, to get some answers. Our conversation is next. All right, Dr. Doehring, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Great to see you.
Absolutely. Good to be with you, Mary.
The incubation period for these new strains have declined over time. What do you make of that? Why are we seeing this?
Yeah, I think that's a possible explanation for the increased contagiousness, how efficiently these viruses are spreading. And so the newer subvariants of Omicron do seem to be spreading a lot more efficiently and rapidly, and the shorter incubation time is certainly part of that.
And also it's a great point there, gets out of someone's system and is able to infect. So that explains sort of the contagiousness. And what about the incubation period? I'm thinking that it doesn't have as much time to brew in the body. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it's more contagious that we've known, but also maybe it's less virulent. So I'm wondering if this can also explains why it's not as virulent, let's say.
Yeah, that's a good
pathogenic
question. Yeah. How much the virus changes, how it evolves with subsequent, subvariants and each successive generation, if you will, certainly could be impacted by this process. Does that lead to a risk of higher virulence, lower virulence? It seems to be, at least at this point, the BA4, BA5 subvariants are less severe, but that the jury's still somewhat out on that as well, because we do have a lot more protection in the community across the United States and across the world based on prior vaccination, prior infection. So a little unclear the impact that the shorter incubation time may have on virulence at this point.
Okay, we'll wait and see then. And then also just testing. What effect will this have on testing, if any?
Yeah, right. So I think the biggest impact on testing has been the home-based testing. And so folks who are getting symptoms are testing themselves, and we don't get official tracking of those results. A lot of people nowadays, too, have just stopped testing altogether. Figured if I've got signs of a cold, probably COVID. That's probably not a bad way to approach this. If you have symptoms that are consistent with COVID, get tested if you have access to that. But if not, act like you have it and stay isolated, protect others to try to prevent its spread.
Would you say that this is good news? I don't know. I don't want to say anything about COVID is good, but good news. I'm thinking that this is sort of a sign that COVID may be burning out.
I hope so. That's a little bit of conjecture at this point. I know there are some concerns that with the shorter incubation, have a little shorter lead time in terms of trying to, control the spread and protect the populations. But again, we've always said that the herd immunity is going to be a combination of people who get natural immunity from having COVID, as well as those who have been vaccinated and get protection that way. So, the net effect may ultimately be a positive one here, and whether it leads to burning out or just becoming an endemic status kind of remain to be seen as well.
Yeah. Well, okay. I was just going to ask you how close do you think we are, but we'll just have to wait and see. And,
I know. Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of conjecture that we may have a winter surge again, as we have experienced the last two winters. A little unclear. Again, it's going to depend on subsequent variants that emerge. right now there's so much widespread protection from the spread of this Omicron subvariant that, I think there's some reason to be hopeful that we may not have quite as severe of a winter surge as we've had the last 2 winters. So certainly keep our fingers crossed on that front as well.
Right. Double crossed. Dr. Doehring, we have about 30 seconds. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, no, we'll continue to monitor the variants that are emerging. And again, that newly formulated bivalent booster should be a great tool in our armamentarium here. So, again, progress. So,
Dr. Doehring, I absolutely will take it. Dr. Doehring, always great to see you. Thank you so much. This has been Medical Minutes from Wish TV. I'm medical reporter Dr. Mary Gillis. Be sure to follow and subscribe to this podcast and check out new updates every week. You can also learn more at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook.
This is the Medical Minutes Podcast with Wish TV's Dr. Mary Gillis. Be informed and stay connected for the latest news and information when you like, subscribe, and follow this podcast. And discover even more from the All Indiana Podcast Network. Now at allindianapodcast.com.